Barbs.
We are on a carrier in San Diego. We are floating in the ocean right now. There is a helicopter at the end of this thing that Tom Cruise landed on. There are probably 1,000 people on this thing. This is crazy. I don't know what's happening right now.
I was finally like, this is now or never. And look, I was always there. Everywhere I traveled around the world, they wanted a sequel, and it was just never right. It's just the story wasn't right, but I'd lay there in bed, and I'm constantly thinking about stories, and I was like, okay, what if, how? And I was waiting for technology to be able to catch up to some of the things that I wanted to accomplish. Because in the first one, I flew in the F-14. We had a camera that had 5 minutes of film, and I would turn it on and off. And I waited to see where, and I did American Made. And when I was doing American Made, the aerials, it was always in the back of my mind that if I did Top Gun, what about this? And then McHugh and I did Fallout together, and we were developing those cameras for the helicopters and that aerial sequence. It was all a progression to where we're going. And Kaczynski, when I was doing Oblivion with Joe, he's like, I always talked about Top Gun. I said, Joe, let's make Oblivion right now, And then I was shooting Fallout, and McHugh was talking to me about Top Gun for, 10 years. And it just came together. And it just was like, okay, it is now or never. And I felt like the challenge is there, and maybe we can figure this out.
Tom Cruise is just a guy that everybody around him wants to do their absolute best, and he did not want to go back to this franchise unless he could top it. And I really feel like we topped it.
Tom said it's now or never. It was a movie that once he realized he had a story that was really going to elevate and take the original and take that and go, off into the universe with it, it became undeniable. And I would say, we all just went through the pandemic. That for me was like we were all in together, we're all in the same boat, and to have this movie come out now, for me it's like a beautiful present waiting for us at the end of a very long tunnel. And I think fans are going to say, damn, that was worth the wait. And they're going to see it twice, and then they're going to see it again.
I think part of it is the wait, the long wait between these things. I think the movie doesn't take place the day after the first one ended. It takes place in real time, and part of that is people grow up, and people get sick, and people die, and relationships change, and responsibilities change. And the movie addresses those themes head on. It's about how you make different decisions when you're 25 than you do when you're in your 50s, and how words like duty and service and responsibility and friendship and loyalty, all of those things mean something different. So I think we've made a movie that touches on a lot of really universal themes.
It's really very moving, the journey that Maverick goes on in this film, which may surprise some audiences, I think. I've had a lot of people who have seen it tell me they were crying when they came, they were laughing, they were crying, they were cheering. It's a poignant story, so hopefully fans will enjoy that.
It's a labor of love. I've never worked as long in a movie before. Between the flying and all the kind of swim training and everything, but just the fact that with all the new cast, we were all kind of doing this thing for the first time together. It was a, immense learning experience, and to do it with TC himself was really just, the best.
I mean, the competition between each and every one of us is real. I think it helped. We wanted to be better than the next person, but we were also rooting the next person on. I am the best pilot. I'll just go out there and say it. I am. No, but it helped us push. When things get hard, you have somebody else that's either going through the same thing you're going through or competing with you, and you want to beat that person as well. We had a great time bonding, and these are my family members. We still talk, and even after this is over, we're going to stay close.
My whole life, since I was 4, I wanted to make movies. And I remember being on the set of Taps and thinking, if I can make movies the rest of my life, I'd be so happy. So it's kind of amazing. It's surreal. It's surreal that here we are and I'm doing this, and it's surreal that it's Top Gun Maverick.
We had to wait until we could have communities watching it together. I mean, it's an emotional piece, and you want to be there with your friends and your family, and people who love the movie, who've talked about the movie and quoted it, want to go together and be able to sit next to each other and, eat popcorn, and, it's the classic movie experience, just on an absolutely epic level.
Tom is no stranger to making good movies, and he understands that a good movie is like a good meal, right? You got to have your appetizer, got to have your mains, If you're me, you usually avoid the salad, but you got to have some salad. And then, of course, you got to have some dessert. So this movie operates on all levels. It has thrills, it has chills, it has stunts that have only ever happened on this film, but it also hits you in the feels.
Tom Cruise really knew to hold out on this because he wanted to make sure that the technology was developed so that we could go up in actual jets and that we could fit 6 8K cameras stripped down in the cockpit of an F-18, so we could give audiences the idea of what it actually feels like to pull these G's. To pull these G's and to do what real Top Gun pilots do. I mean, to attempt to convey that.
When I used to grow up, there wasn't a lot of people like me on the scene, and now I'm glad to be a part of a project where another young kid like myself can sit there and say, like, wow, I want to be like him,
Top Gun is the experience you want to have in a theater with a big audience cheering and laughing with you. There's nothing better than going to a movie on opening weekend with the fans and enjoying what we've worked on for 30-some years.